What's up, friends? Welcome to Books and Data with Lady O. This channel is all about books and data. I am on a journey to complete my Bachelors of Science in Data Science, and I said, let's take everyone along the journey. We are so fortunate to have so many great personalities and YouTubers out there sharing their knowledge and what they're able to do with data. And I'm just like, it's all awesome. Trust me, it's awesome. And I've watched many tutorials, and I have come to a point where I'm ready to jump out of tutorial hell. And yes, let's go ahead and make some things. So, with that, um, small announcement, big announcement. No, forget that. That's a big announcement. I recently received my wonderful notification that I did make the Dean's List for my past term. Yes, so very excited. And I have to say a big shout out to University of Phoenix. Honestly, going through my program, one thing that I love is it truly is an adult learning environment. You know, I am a wife, I am a mommy, I work in corporate America, I'm a Sunday school teacher, all of the things. And being with University of Phoenix, I've been able to get what I need as far as learning the foundations of whatever subject we are in at the moment. And as an adult learner, you know, it is up to you to explain that knowledge and apply it to your specific situation. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into tonight. Now, what we're going to do today is I have a discussion question I need to get in. And for my discussion response, yes, I already did my question, and I did receive a reply to my message. So one of my classmates asked, I like how you provided an example picture to show us each programming language and what they can do. With Python being considered the easier language to learn by what studies have shown, what's the best way to learn each language? I've downloaded a couple of different games on my phone and to try and help me learn Python and Java, but haven't had much success. My friend, I am I am in a similar boat to you. Like, I've tried multiple ways to efficiently learn Python. So basically, this week's discussion was around what is the difference between Java and Python. My last nerve. That's what's the difference. Okay, I'm more versed in Python, as many folks starting out in data analysts go in the data analyst field go. Java, that's more for like your front end developers, things like that. I believe they lean more towards the Java language to start out with. I do believe, you know, all the different languages are very valuable in any space as far as computer science, data analytics, things like that goes, because you can use both of these languages, obviously, to present different types of data or build different types of platforms that utilize data. So, what we're going to focus on tonight for my peers question is Python. And I say that because, well, I'm more versed in it, and it'll take me a little bit less time to be able to give a good quality response. I definitely believe in quality over quantity. And plus, we need to be efficient because, yeah, I got to get some more homework done tonight after getting this discussion question done. So let's go ahead and jump on over to Visual Studio Code. And what is the best way to learn something? Well, it is to do it. And that's what we're going to do tonight. And that is my complete advice for my friend. So let's go ahead and dive right on in. Wait, okay. Before we dive in, I do need to give a little bit of background on the project and I guess my process for how I dive deeper into learning about different languages, in this case, Python, and exactly how did you come up with that, right? Okay, so of course, this is channel is called Books and Data with Lady O. So I do love to read. Reading is a great way to escape the world and learn more about the world. Simply put, for me. And yeah, so what I do enjoy doing is some bookish projects that I can apply my data skills to. And tonight, my friend's question kind of helped guide the way we're going to go about this. So basically, anytime I'm ready to learn a new concept or practice a different skill within data, I always like to make it fun, right? Because what's another way that we learn aside from going about, the homework ABC 1, 2, 3? In order to really dive in and truly learn to master that skill, you have to make it fun. So I am currently working on, I guess you guys have a sneak peek. Well, I'll say a sneak announcement. I'm currently working on creating a book series tracker in Excel for all of my data book nerds out there. Yeah, sure, we'll say that. But I follow a lot of YouTubers or book talkers in this case, booktubers, whatever the name is. I follow a lot of folks that always mention, oh, this Excel list, and oh, I have up my Excel sheet, and things like that. So I'm like, I always hear about these Excel sheets, but I never really get to see them as far as when booktubers are talking. So I was like, what would be a fun project that I could share with the booktube world that they might be able to share with us so we get a visual of, this magical Excel sheet that most of us, I say, probably carry along. So what I'm doing tonight is I am going to take that project and kind of turn it just a little bit and apply some Python skills. So here you can see I have up W3 schools. If you don't know what that is, absolutely head on over and find out, because W3 schools is absolutely one of the best tools I've had at my disposal to learn, as you can see from the top bar there, all of the different types of languages. And one thing that has always remained in my mind is we can only do one thing at a time, okay? You can't jump back and forth between SQL, Python, Java, C++, all that stuff. I mean, you can, but then you're going to be like one of those, jack of all trades, but a master of none. So it's best to definitely get one language, focus on that language, master that language within reason. I mean, there's always something, um, you know, different to learn or whatnot, but get a very firm grasp on that language before moving on to the next. And the language that I'm definitely focusing on at this point in my educational journey is Python. So that's what we're doing tonight. And as you can see, I have highlighted here, we've got a list. So using just this library or just this tutorial area list, that's the skill I'm going to work on tonight. I am going to take my book series tracker concept that I'm currently working on in Excel, and I'm going to make a little twist on it and see what we can come up with in Python. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but we're going to find out. All right, so let's go ahead. Now we're going to go over to Visual Studio Code. All right, friends, so I have up my Visual Studio Code here, and basically Visual Studio Code is it's a code editor that you can definitely write all different kinds of code in, has a lot of built-in features. I am not an expert yet, not an expert yet on all the things within Visual Studio Code. But again, that's part of the process, right? You have to start building, you have to start applying in order to learn how to do all the things. So that's what we're doing tonight. Now, I will say we're just going to start with what we know. So jumping right in, I've got my code editor up. Okay, now what we need to do first is go ahead and get a new file pulled up. So after I get up a new file, I definitely need to pick which kind of file. That's going to be Python, right? So I've got my Python file up here, and let's go ahead and give it a name. And we are going to be doing the book series tracker. Now that little hashtag that you see right there, that is what allows you to put in some comments, and it's not exactly included into the code. So when we run this code, it won't read it. Now, we have to go ahead and save the file. So I'm just gonna, easy name here, book series, and you can see my Excel one that I'm already working on. But this one is gonna be book series tracker, and we have to do .py. And that basically tells my computer, okay, this is a Python file. And that's also how we can connect it back into Visual Studio Code and keep it saved and continue running it. Now, before we get started with anything, what I would like to do is build a Bible, books of the Bible tracker. Okay, so the Bible is a series of books, so I think it would be perfect to go ahead and jump into this code. Now, I am not going to type all of those out, so we're gonna head on over to my friendly desk buddy ChatGPT and like, hey Chat, can you go ahead and create me a book, a list of all the books of the Bible in Python formatting. And as you can see, Desk Buddy is working out great. All right, so I like how it's separated into the Old Testament and New Testament. That will work out. That'll work out good a little bit later, and it'll give us some different things to play around with. And let's see. It even tells you, hey, you can also easily separate or iterate through that list. So yes, that's good. Now we're going to copy and paste that into Visual Studio Code, or I'm just going to call it our code editor from now on. That's a very long name. All right. So now that we're in here, let's go ahead and first, let's just get familiar. Let's get familiar with this list and see what we can build. So I've got my W3 schools up here, and I'm just looking through the different tutorials within there. And okay, so first things first, I just said, I want to be able to combine both the Old Testament and the New Testament. So what do we have to do? We have to make a variable for that. All right, so I've got Bible equals what? It is going to be the Old Testament plus the New Testament. And what that's going to do is that is going to create a variable, a single variable for the entire Bible, which that works because as we continue working down through this code, there may be instances where I don't want to have to type out New Testament, Old Testament. So it's pretty cool to just, have one. So that works out. Now, I do need to know, because this is a tracker, right? So I need to know how many books are in the Bible, right? And I mean, we know there's 66, but the computer doesn't know that. So I got to tell the computer that. Now, um, right here is where we'll see that, having that single variable of the Bible comes in handy. So what I just did was I created another variable here, and that's total books and the len. So that len is going to be the length. That is what that stands for. So we're going to do length, and now we're talking numbers. So what I just did was, hey computer, can you count how many books or how many objects, or what do they call them? Lists are used to store multiple items in a single variable. Okay, so yeah, we'll keep the language simple, right? Okay, so len means the length, and what I'm going to do here is say, hey, I need you to count how many items are in the Bible as we have listed, and our Bible equals Old Testament, New Testament. Great. Okay, good deal. We're going good. Now we are going to do another variable, and this one has here is books read. So what I'm doing is I'm just thinking through my code. Okay, what do I want to accomplish? I want to know, well, I want to track how many books are in the Bible. And then now I need to figure out how many have I read. So I need to be me as the person. I need to input how many books I have read in the Bible. And that way, when we're working through this tracker, that'll tell the computer, like, okay, this is how many books is in the Bible, this is how many books that the person or I have read. Okay, so that's where we're at now. Books read, the reason that we have to go back to Old Testament, New Testament, is because they're two different lists. Now, when we're trying to pull the items from that list, what we've got is when you're working through a list, well, let's pause. Okay, so yes, when we're working through the list, we need to be able to access that list. And how do we access that list? So, list items are indexed, and you can access them by referring to the index number. Okay, so again, I'm just working through the tutorials in W3 schools to kind of tutor myself on how I can work through these things, right? Okay, now, what am I indexing through? So, right now, I am telling the computer the books I have currently read are in the Old Testament zero. What is zero? Okay. When you have a list of items in Python, the index always starts at zero. Any kind of array, your starting number is zero. It's not one, it's zero. Zero counts as a number. So I'm just telling the computer what I counted through. And here in the New Testament, I needed to count. So zero is for Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, 4. 4 is 5, but 4. Okay, so um, this month that's what I have been reading. I've been reading through Genesis and Acts based on my Bible reading plan. I'll definitely link my other videos to my reading journal below. Feel free to check them out, and definitely can dive into more of the biblical content if you like. So, as you can see, as I'm going about my program, I'm writing some notes. And again, we do that using the hashtag. The hashtag is what enables us to create notes, comments. It helps keep the data clean, for one. And for two, it helps me remember whatever I was doing. And three, that'll help if I'm like right here doing this with you all. If someone else needs to come on and update, change, whatnot, the code, they'll know what each piece of code does. Okay, now I'm ready to go ahead and test out my tracker here. And I like to do things in sentences. Okay. I'm not that hardcore programmers like just give me a list of all the things. I'm not that computer brained. I don't know how else to say it. So what we're gonna do, I read, and we're going to put books read. That's our variable, right? We're doing the variable books read. So it's going to say, computer, put in the books from books read. So it'll put in, if we're doing it right, it'll put in Genesis and Acts, right? Okay. And as you can see, I'm going to continue my sentence. So books read in January. Um, I have, let's see here. Oh, yes. Okay. So, okay. We're continuing. So I have read a total of, and then that's where we're going to grab the total. So the total books of the Bible, now minus two. Yeah, we got to do a little bit of math, right? So I've read a total of minus two because I've read Genesis and Acts. Good. So once that prints out, we should get the total number of the books, which is 66 minus two. So we should get 64 from that. Now, just continuing on my sentence. Yep, I put books of the Bible left to read. So that's going to tell me how many I have left. And just to make it fun and continuing through working on how we're going to, what do you call it? Continue practicing. In this case, the list, we're working through list and how to access that list. That's kind of the skill I'm working on right now. So there you go. I'm going to put in Old Testament, and then again, I'm going to access my list via the index, and I put 1 for Old Testament. So that means I'm going to be in Genesis, and then, and we need to type out our and then I'm going to put, yeah, we're going to do, I believe, Romans. Yes, that's going to be what's up next in February that I'm going to be reading through. There will be some more books, but primarily will be in Romans. So again, I had to count through that, and 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Romans is number 5 in that index. So there you have it. Okay. And oh, yeah, we have to be grammatically correct, right? So I'm also going to go ahead and add a period. There we go. There's no reason that, I mean, we're already here. Let's make it a full sentence. Okay, let's run. Woo! And I read Genesis and Acts in January. I have 64 books of the Bible left to read. In February, I am reading Exodus and Romans. And there you have it. So that is how we build something. That's how we get some practice in for coding. We just wrote a program. We just wrote a simple Bible tracker, and of course, as we go throughout the year, we can continue building on to those strings, saying, "Well, actually, it'll be very simple because we'll just have to go back to our index and put in what? We're just going to have to put in the index numbers. So we'll just have to put in the numbers for what books we have read." And then again, we'll have to just update minus however many books that we have read from our second part of that code. And voila, there you have it. Thank you all so very much. If you've hung out to the end, I greatly appreciate you. Please remember to like and subscribe. I'll be doing lots more of bookish data type projects and can't wait to catch you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.